And we're live with teams that own the top 4 picks. Jeff Darlington, he's with the Titans, who are on the clock. Jeremy Fowler is with the Browns, who picked second. Sal Powell is following the Giants with the 3rd pick. And Mike Reese has the Pats covered at number 4. Let's start with Jeff Darlington. What is the latest in Tennessee, Jeff?
Well, I can tell you right now that Tennessee has made it very clear publicly that they are staying at number 1. They have their guy. They're going to pick him this evening, and they have made that clear again publicly and privately to teams like the Giants who have tried to move up to that number 1 spot. Quite frankly, I've spoken with Giants sources, with Titans sources, and they have all made very clear they never even came close to entertaining the possibility of trading that pick. So, of course, we can look at that guy, Cam Ward, the guy that we expect to wind up with the Tennessee Titans. And I can tell you that it was in late March when he had his pro day that it really felt like the tides had turned for him to potentially be that pick. They basically were talking, they watched him play, they saw Cam Ward walk over to them as he was about to make a throw, and Cam Ward looked at their staff and said, I am going to solidify it today. I'm going to be your number 1 pick. We expect tonight that to be exactly how it plays out. Now let's go to the Cleveland Browns with Jeremy Fowler.
Thank you, Jeff. The Cleveland Browns, I'm told, remain open to the possibility of moving out of the 2nd overall pick. Over the last 24 to 48 hours, the Browns have had contact with multiple teams that have at least toyed with the prospect of making such a move. But in the end, most people around the league do expect Cleveland to stand pat and take Colorado's Travis Hunter with that 2nd pick. He's been highly impressive to the team throughout the process. There's been momentum here dating back to his pro day a few weeks ago. Now that leaves Cleveland with the quarterback question. They are expected to address quarterback at some point in this draft. I'm told from sources here that the Browns are going to remain nimble if there's a chance to move into the late 1st round, but they would prefer to stay at 33 overall with their 2nd pick, top of the 2nd round, so they can dictate terms and have leverage throughout day 2 of the draft. That's what they want to do. I can confirm that there is love here in the building for Shedeur Sanders, at least some love, but sources here have stressed 2 things. The Browns have a lot of needs, not just quarterback, that they have to address with their 10 draft picks, and that this is a team that's in transition, and they know it. So they're not looking for quick microwave fixes. They're looking for long-term solutions. Now with the Giants, let's send it over to Sal Powell.
Hey there, Jeremy. Well, if Cam Ward goes number 1 and Travis Hunter goes number 2, that means the Giants are in the sweet spot of the 1st round. This is the drama turn right here for the 1st round of the 2025 draft. What will the Giants do? They need a quarterback. If they pass on Shedeur Sanders and take one of the blue chip prospects remaining on the board, such as pass rusher Abdul Carter of Penn State, will they go after a quarterback later in the draft? Joe Shane, fourth time that he has been the GM of this team, 4th year in a row, never taken a quarterback, and they need one. So what will they do? We're looking for clues. Take a look at this. This is a screenshot of Joe Shane's son's social media post where he posted some highlights of Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. Now, that was quickly made private after that went up on the World Wide Web of social media, and it went dark, so to speak. Maybe Joe Shane didn't want his son giving away clues that Jackson Dart of Ole Miss, where his daughter goes to college, by the way, would be the Giants' interest at quarterback. But everything that we're hearing around the National Football League is head coach Brian Daboll of the Giants loves Jackson Dart, reminds him of Josh Allen in many ways. Daboll coached Josh Allen in Buffalo, and Jackson Dart may be the 2nd pick of a quarterback in this draft. That's the way things are going. What would it take to go from the number 34 pick in the 2nd round to jump into the 1st round to get Jackson Dart? A whole lot of draft picks, Mike Reese, a whole lot of draft picks.
Sal, always great to get the toss from you. I want to tell you, one of the most interesting things I've heard over the last 24 hours from a top Patriots decision maker is that there have been teams that have reached out to the Patriots about pick number 4. Now, that reach out has come in the context of if the player we covet is there, you can expect to hear from us. So it creates a little bit of on-the-clock intrigue for the Patriots, who have said they are willing to listen to offers. But if they stick and pick, and a lot depends on what happens before them, head coach Mike Vrabel has said that offensive tackle is a position that should be good for the Patriots in this draft, and I'm told two that they view favorably: LSU's Will Campbell, Missouri's Armand Membu. Campbell, in particular, has noted how much time he's spent with the Patriots of late. And one more fact to pass along: Patriots top decision maker tells me they think 5 offensive tackles could go in the first round. So if they don't go offensive tackle with their top pick, some of the conversations they've had here is what's left for them when they're back scheduled to be on the clock in the top of the second round. Let's go back to Shay in the studio. Shay, I almost want to toss this football to you. So excited for this draft.
I wish I knew you were throwing that to me. I would have caught it. I catch it. Thank you so much, Mike Reese. We appreciate it. 21, what do you make of the Steelers' fit in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Dan, where should Shedeur go?
I like Shedeur in Pittsburgh for the organizational fit, the structure of Mike Tomlin, and the history of it. Shedeur is going to know how to handle things within that organization and the expectations. Scheme-wise, the way they play offensive football under Arthur Smith, who's their offensive coordinator, I don't love it. They've got 2 receivers that are big-time players downfield. Arthur Smith wants to run the ball and try to take shots down the field. That's not necessarily the strength of Shedeur's game. I would want Shedeur to be a little bit like Brock Purdy, a little bit like Tua, a point guard that distributes the ball. So when it comes to the culture of Pittsburgh, I like it. When it comes to the style on the field, I don't love that marriage between quarterback and offense.
All right, so Marcus, here's the thing. Since the Combine, we've seen Shedeur drop in mock drafts. The Giants, the Browns, and the Saints, they all pick in the top 10. Will those teams regret passing on Shedeur?
Yeah, Marcus.
Loaded.
Will they regret it?
That's super loaded. We won't know.
We'll tell you in 2027.
We'll tell you in 27. Listen, we've seen this, though, before. There's some recall to organizations and franchises having to deal with even more than just not picking the quarterback. It puts you behind schedule, especially from a financial standpoint, but also the level of play. There's always going to be a miss in the draft by a team, no matter what. But the quarterback position polarizes that. If Shedeur goes 21 or if he goes 28 and he ends up having a great career, that organization wins and they're able to have flexibility to build the team around him. That's the strength of drafting a young quarterback that's good now, Dan, is the fact that you can go out that next year or that 2 years from then and say, okay, let's start building this roster around this guy because he's proven to us he's good enough to win a championship. I think organizations regret that more. You have what you have on these guys when they're coming out of college. You have a plan that you have in place. You do all of your evaluation. There are years and months and weeks and down to days and hours, minutes and seconds before you determine who you're going to take outside of number 1. So the regret word is hard for me because you think you've done enough research to have a real good feel about these guys. But like you said, in 2027, holla at us. Because I'm sure Chicago regrets not taking